Next at 6, Ford cuts 35,000 jobs and closes plants. So why does one local company think that's a good thing?
The story's made national headlines. Now a Northwest Ohio family is defending its loved one, accused of stockpiling assault weapons and making threats.
Cities that don't make life accessible for people with disabilities may have to pay. It's a big ruling today from the U.S. Supreme Court.
And since when is silverware a story? When two Toledo businesses get together over 1,700 place settings.
13 Action News at 6 starts right now.
From WTVG in Toledo, this is 13 Action News at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lee Conklin.
And I'm Diane Larson. It's been rumored for weeks, and today the axe fell at one of the world's biggest companies.
That's right. The Ford Motor Company says it needs to trim the fat, and plants, vehicles, and jobs all have to go. Now, there are trickle-down effects everywhere, but the news may not be so bad here in Northwest Ohio. Now, one plant in New Jersey and one in Ontario, Canada, are slated to close in 2004. 2003 or 2004 is the target year for the Brook Park, Ohio plant to shut down. A factory in Hazelwood, Missouri will also be closed. And the Vulcan Forge plant in Dearborn, Michigan is to close as soon as possible. In addition, Ford will shed 35,000 jobs. That's worldwide. The cuts, including 22,000 in North America, amount to 10% of Ford's overall workforce. The company is also eliminating 4 vehicles, including the once best-selling Escort. It is also the end of the line for the Mercury Cougar Sports Coupe, the Mercury Villager minivan, and the Lincoln Continental luxury sedan.
While many communities with ties to Ford are now faced with plant closings and layoffs, it appears that the Toledo area will not be greatly affected by the automaker's plan to cut costs, at least for now. 13 Action News reporter Tim Gerber is live in West Toledo with more on today's announcement and what it does mean for our city. Tim.
Well, Diane, Dana Corporation is just one of several local companies that has ties with Ford. Dana provides a variety of parts for several Ford vehicles. Now, today's announcement by Ford shouldn't affect the business here for Dana or other local companies that do business with Ford.
We see it generally as a positive comment that things are going to get better at Ford, and we're looking forward to working with them.
According to a Dana spokesman, Ford's wide-ranging restructuring plans shouldn't affect their relationship with the auto giant.
What impacts us is if the products aren't selling. We're not selling parts. And so as long as they're selling the Escape, the Explorer, the F-150, those are the products that we are supplying parts for those vehicles, we're strong.
As other cities with Ford factories heard the bad news about layoffs and plant closings, workers at Ford's Maumee stamping plant realized just how lucky they were. Union leaders say the 800 auto workers who make various steel and plastic parts for several Ford vehicles at the plant should not see a closing time anytime soon. Union officials do, however, predict a slowdown. Ford plans to discontinue 4 of its vehicles, and that could force a temporary shutdown in the future. But union leaders say that will depend on how other Ford models continue to sell.
Beyond those plants, there are thousands of jobs at stake at second, third, and other tier suppliers throughout the area.
Chuck Weinblatt is a consultant who works closely with Ford and several local companies that supply parts for the automaker. He says while the Toledo auto manufacturing industry won't take a direct hit from Ford, it could run into problems down the road.
There could be a slowing of production, or plants could disappear entirely if there's no need for their parts in the future.
But Weinblatt says as long as the parts are needed, local auto workers should continue to have jobs. And ultimately, experts say it's not just Ford local auto industry needs to worry about. They say all 3 of the big American automakers are going through tough times, and that eventually could have an impact here in Northwest Ohio. Reporting live tonight in West Toledo, I'm Tim Gerber for 13 Action News.
And Ford is already trying to turn things around.
Coverage, community, commitment. From Toledo 11, the news channel, this is the 6 p.m. edition.
Well, the picket lines are gone, but the effect of this week's walkout still being felt. Good evening, everyone. Chris is off tonight. I'm Melissa Veitch. A lot of people in Toledo have the UAW to watch over them at work.
But this week we saw signs of a new UAW, a union that's becoming more assertive and trying to expand its membership. The strike at Johnson Controls affected that company, but it also idled the entire Toledo North Assembly plant because of a lack of parts. Jeep lost about 5,600 man-hours when 4 production shifts were canceled. In that time, Jeep would have made 1,600 liberties. Well, union UAW membership is about half what it used to be. We're going to learn more about that from Dick Berry in just a minute. But Johnson Controls' walkout could be a clue of things to come with the unions. The United Auto Workers Union is trying to expand and become even stronger. Let's get that part of the story now as Dick Berry does join us. Dick?
Well, Bill, this walkout could be all about boosting sagging union membership. At the same time, it's sending a powerful message to the U.S. auto industry. UAW! UAW! UAW membership is half of what it was 20 years ago. New leadership just took over. What happened at Johnson Controls in Northwood is a way for the union to boost rank and file, organize the workers of smaller parts suppliers. That's what University of Toledo labor management expert Chuck Weinblatt thinks.
Due to automation and outsourcing and foreign competition, the number of represented workers has decreased significantly.
Let's stick together, we'll continue to work together, and we're going to continue to have victories. Thank you.
Weinblatt says a portion of the victory affects U.S. automakers. A walkout can shut down assembly plants because of a lack of parts and components. That's exactly what Johnson Controls workers did to production at the Jeep Liberty plant. The added labor clout puts more pressure on the manufacturers to support union efforts.
It's not just the amount of money that they lose each day in lost production. It's the loss of their market share. It's the loss of their stock value. I think you'll be seeing a lot of selected strikes over the next several months to the next couple of years.
And Chuck Weinblatt also says as long as management and labor bargain in good faith, issues can be resolved before a strike is called. Bill?
But they always have that carrot of a strike out there to dangle in front of management. Dick Berry reporting tonight. Daimler Chrysler has not decided if it's going to pay the Jeep workers who missed some time this week. The company may require those workers to file an unemployment claim.
On its original parts business and reducing debt. They don't carry the Dana name brand, but you probably recognize the products. The brakes and filters the Toledo-based company manufactures, its automotive aftermarket group, will be sold. Dana says the move is being made so it can focus on its original parts business, which includes frames and axles.
Exactly. We engineer it, we design it, we sell it originally, and that gives us a chance to really grow the business globally.
The announcement comes a week after Dana successfully fought off an unwanted hostile takeover bid by rival Arvin Meritor. Board of Directors rejected an $18 a share offer worth just over $2.5 billion. The aftermarket sale allows Dana to gain capital, reduce debt, and raise stock prices.
Well, I think Dana learned through the hostile takeover attempt that it's wise to keep your debt as low as possible. Keep your stock price as high as possible so that in the future they won't be as liable. They'll be more resistant to a hostile takeover.
But most important, keep the Dana shareholders happy.
We expected that they still need to pay down debt, and with their turning down the Arvin Meritor offer, I think what they're trying to do is to show shareholders that they are really committed to the restructuring process.
Dana hopes to close on a deal for its aftermarket automotive group sometime next year. And Dana says the group employs about 15,000 workers worldwide, none of them here in the Toledo area. Nobody is expected to lose their jobs. Chris?
Does that mean, Dick, that the aftermarket group will be sold as one unit?
Well, Dana says it won't be broken up and sold to multiple buyers, so yes, it will be kept intact for a solo buyer.
Okay, Dick Berry reporting for us tonight. The aftermarket group had sales of more than $2 billion.
Live from the station you count on for local news, this is WTOL News 11 at 6.
Toledo loves its Jeep. Union leaders hope that'll be enough to land new work here in the Glass City. But is showing the love enough? The News 11 Investigates team is taking a look tonight, and Dan Bumpus is in the WTOL.com web center. And our website is actually one way people can show their support for Jeep, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. And in just a minute, I'll show you how you can log on to our website and send a message to Daimler Chrysler. Now, this is all part of Toledo Loves Jeep 2. It's an effort to get local companies more involved in Jeep's expansion. But will this letter-writing campaign score new jobs or fall on deaf ears? Jeep's Toledo operation is about to double. That means more parts will be needed to build vehicles, and the push is on for local companies to supply those parts.
We think this is a major opportunity for our entire community to reindustrialize, so to speak.
UAW Local 12 President Bruce Baumhauer is heading up the Toledo Loves Jeep 2 campaign. He says more than 400 letters of support are showing up every day. Baumhauer plans on presenting all those petitions directly to Daimler Chrysler, hoping the company will go local when it expands.
We think there's a minimum of 700 to 800 jobs and as many, potentially as 1,000 brand new jobs that could be added to our community.
And the saturation effort might just work.
I think that the idea of transforming Toledo into a major manufacturing base for the future is definitely possible.
Retired UT auto expert Chuck Weinblatt says scoring local work is not impossible. But when it comes to big corporations, he admits the bottom line is usually the deal breaker, and Daimler Chrysler won't show any local loyalty.
The financial decisions often outweigh the personal decisions that exist within a community.
Still, the Jeep support group is moving full steam ahead, confident their campaign will pay off.
But all companies want to be loved, and they want to be somewhere where the citizens want them to be. So every pressure point that we can add to this effort helps.
Yeah, and there's no doubt this is important for everyone in Toledo. The economy, of course, needs the job. That's why News 11 is also getting behind Toledo Loves Its Jeep 2. And you can also get involved by going to our website, WTOL.com. Let me show you here how it works. It's simple. You just get on the website and scroll down here to the Toledo Loves Jeep 2 icon. You click on that. It'll take you to a separate screen that you see right here. That enables you to either click on this message right here to send a note directly to Daimler Chrysler showing your support. You can also click on this icon right here. That will let you print out a Toledo Loves Jeep 2 yard sign. You can put it on your car window or even your windows at home to show your support. And our coverage doesn't stop there. Tomorrow at 6 o'clock, we'll be going inside a local parts supplier that would, of course, love to land a bigger piece of the action over at Jeep. Chris?
Yeah, there are a lot of them around here, Dan, that would love it. Thank you so much, Dan Bumpus, reporting. And yesterday, by the way, Jeep workers ousted UAW unit chairman Nick Vuich. In his place, they voted in Dan Henneman, a longtime Jeep union steward.